Okay, you got me. You done got me. This, you got me. I've got to share these ideas now. Um, Let me move this over. So, World Builders Sanctum just joined not 2 minutes. 2 minutes? No, a few minutes ago. Not 2 minutes ago. A few minutes ago. But I just joined the World Builders Sanctum, and a question was asked. Now, I've got the whole poisonous inspiration bleeding away in my brain. And it's all Isaiah's fault. Isaiah and C.W. A crafter got me freaking thinking. I've already got enough games to run, and now I'm having more ideas. So, here we go. Question posed was, Isaiah's group is going to be entering the Shadowfell. And there's a man who assassinated his father, right? Is entering the Shadowfell, and blah, blah, blah. His players feel a little cocky. And oh, it's so mean. It's so mean. It's tropey. The first trope, which is hilarious if they don't get it, is that the guy, okay, CWA Crafter said that, to show them, to illustrate the birth of a warlock. I think that's great. I started thinking some things in my head, and you know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't know exactly what's going on, but where my mind is going is, could you imagine if the guy sold his soul or tried to better himself through some sort of ritual and was deceived to separate the best of himself from the worst of himself, and the worst of himself literally destroyed the best and possessed him? And his shadow is his body's puppeteer. The shadow never speaks through the shadow always speaks through the body. And so on and so forth. Kills his daddy, wreaks havoc, escapes, whatever. And when you finally find the guy and you fight the guy, and the party of players like, we're all strong, we'll stab him, I stabbeth at thee, and all that. And they do manage to defeat this guy with just a little bit of threat. Maybe he hurt him up a little bit. They defeat him. He's wounded. He's got gashes. If you want to get graphical with it, he's got his guts spilling, his neck sliced, fingers. I don't know. He is just, there's no way in hell this guy is alive anymore. And yet have that main villain, quote unquote main villain, keep moving, keep attacking, keep manifesting spells and, warlock abilities. And pepper little clues here and there that the guy doesn't cast magic when he's in, complete darkness, because complete darkness, the shadow is obscured within the darkness and can't issue that much control over its puppet. Or, if you're dealing radiant damage to the guy, the guy wants to step in the way of the shadow. I don't know, just run with it, be inspired by it. And not until they start trying to destroy this shadow and manage to destroy the shadow does the flesh even stop. And I think that'll be cool. Like if you go through it, write it up and structure it so that it's not a difficult fight. It's not difficult to overcome once you figure it out. But if they don't figure it out, then it becomes very deadly, very dangerous, and you can toy with them. You can have him come in, beat them up a bit, and no matter what punishment he may take, he just runs away, because the punishment of the flesh actually doesn't even matter, right? Another little mischievous idea that I typed down is to have mischievous trance. Little, the tree ants, trance, tree elementals, whatever you want to call them, whatever they are, in your game and whatnot. To have these trents that, of course, look like trees, are pretending to be but simple trees. And as players are running through this, forest or whatever, when the players aren't looking, the trents are sweeping over their tracks, disturbing their trails, making it impossible to retrace their steps, and in addition to that, actually repositioning themselves, being, very mischievous. Maybe in the background, if they roll a perception check or they hear faintly in the path, they just walk the cracking of tree branches, something sounding like it's dragging itself across the ground. Taunting your players a bit just with the sounds to make them think they're actually being chased by something when it's just these mischievous trents destroying their path, with the goal of having your characters go in circles, which is just purely entertainment for these, wood beings toying with these little, meaty animals, yeah, right? And maybe even using these trents, like if they were to combat anything else within the woods, that the trents will uproot their roots from time to time, and you just have your players make acrobatics check for seemingly no reason, because the trents are tripping them up while they're fighting for their own personal entertainment. They don't want to kill them. They really care less whether these creatures live or die, as long as these, creatures, aka the players, never openly attack the trents. They will not try to kill them, only annoy them, basically. Only make their lives slightly harder. Make the environment, that's what's haunting them. If your players feel a little too cocky, whether they have right to, or, they're just, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, that means we always win. Whatever the reason, give them a reason to second guess something. Make them know once again that they're, characters. They could be the heroes, but being the hero does not necessarily make them the protagonists. They to be a hero, there has to be some difficulty that needs to be overcome. People who are often too cocky are the villains, the bad guys. They can't have this villainous characteristic, can they? Is that fine? I don't know. But, yeah, those were little things I was thinking about, and the whole using the Shadowfell, the shadows, the magic. Shadows are an amazing creature to throw at your players, especially when even when they're damaging shadows. Don't have the shadow be like, ugh, oh, he only has two. Never describe the shadow's damage. Maybe you see little wisps of shadow bleeding off into the light, flickering like little candles before fading into nothingness. That at best do little things like that. The great thing about undead, and the great thing about shadows in particular, is that there really aren't any physical signs of damage. Once it's destroyed, it dissipates into nothingness, but while it's hurt, how can you tell that you're damaging it? Make them fear the shadow. If you're using 5e, a shadow is like a quarter or a half CR. Your players are, level 4 or 5 or 6, or in my case, 14. It doesn't matter. They're still dangerous because they deal strength damage. Oh, it's amazing. Also, shadow magic, illusions, throw illusions everywhere. There's, hey, guess what? You fell into the ground. How? The ground was illusionary. There was a pit there, right? I mean, that's really quick, really easy, really simple to just throw at a player. But certain animals attacking them, you could be crazy with it. And here you have, a goblin attacking a person. However, the goblin is an illusion or altered person spell on a troll, and they're trying to fight the goblin, and it's actually a troll. Or, vice versa. Maybe there's some sort of half-dragon or draconic creature that has an immunity to fire, but there is a glamour that makes it appear like some sort of feral troll that prefers to walk around on all fours, almost ape-like. You know, it never talks. It just roars and growls and snarls. And you're fighting, and they're like, "Oh, it's a troll. Use fire at it." And the fire damage is literally doing nothing because it's not actually a troll. Fun and devious. Devious little tricks to throw at your players. Nah. I'm getting carried away. Before I get completely carried away, I'm going to end this video. So, you know, I'm Nelson. This is Infinite Roleplay, and these are a couple of little fun, fantastic, and most devious tricks to throw at your players, brother. I hope you find some inspiration. I hope it helped out. So, till then, peace.